Hello everyone, it is August 6th, 11:17 a.m. I am sitting outside my children's dentist office where I have been banished from because I don't wear masks anymore. Just not something I do, and they evidently require you to wear masks. So I offered to wait in my vehicle rather than bow down to the medical tyranny that has infected our lives. With that being said, I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about something. A couple years back, I watched this series, a couple episodes of this series on Netflix called A Handmaid's Tale. And this was based off of a 1985 novel by a Canadian woman. And in it was this dystopian future set in New England in the United States, in which the United States government had been taken over and overthrown. And there was constant outbreaks of war between the rebels and the fake government and all kinds of stuff. And the premise was that there was a great crisis of infertility. And there was a small group of women who were still fertile. And they were put into this categorization of handmaids. And what they were, it was this group of women who was basically a slave class to the elites, who could no longer breed due to infertility. And so if they wanted to breed, they would take the handmaids and breed with them. And that's how they would have their children. So it was very controlled breeding, eugenics type deal where only the ruling elite could breed because everybody else was infertile. And those were the only ones that had access to the slave class of fertile women referred to as handmaids. Where am I going with this? Well, here's where I'm going with this. Turn on the news, go to LifeSite News, go to naturalnews.com, turn on Fox News, turn on the Laura Ingraham show, follow Peter McConnell, I think his name is, I forget his last name. He's a professor out of Texas. Go follow Michael Yeadon. He is the ex-vice president of Pfizer, and see what they have to say about this particular solution to our problems that is being implemented. And really, it's not a solution at all. It's attacking the reproductive systems of women, is the main consensus among the experts who are speaking out and being censored, that this solution is congregating in the ovaries and is attacking placentas and is adversely affecting women's ability to carry children. And I don't think it's unreasonable, given what we're seeing, to look at The Handmaid's Tale, although fiction, as something that could possibly come to fruition in the very near future. Now, in The Handmaid's Tale, they tracked the cycles of these women meticulously. So they knew who was fertile, and they knew if the woman conceived a child after having intercourse with the ruling elite men. And now, if you remember, a couple videos ago, I pointed out that Apple has built into the phone the ability for women to track their menstrual cycles. And we need to resist this, okay? And women, we need to band together a little on this and resist this, because do not input your personal reproductive data into these beast systems, first of all. Second of all, you need to resist the proposed solution to our problems. Everybody needs to, because number one, that has spiritual consequences as far as apostatizing from God's law and the truth, but it's also having physical consequences as well, with the bulk of it seeming to be on the female reproductive system. This is extraordinarily important because why? Because Jesus tells us in scripture that in the end times, it will be like in the days of Noah. And what do we know about the days of Noah? Everybody was evil. God wipes out the world and only saves Noah and his family because they were not corrupted. But what else do we know? There was a very physical corruption that accompanied this moral corruption, okay? there was the sons of God breeding with the daughters of man. Now, there are two interpretations to Genesis 6. This comes directly from Genesis 6. The church has not made a ruling on this. So the church is split on this. Some church fathers view the sons of God as demons and fallen angels breeding with the natural human women. However, if we look at it from a merely human standpoint, it would be the sons of God would be the bloodline of Seth, the good son of Adam, breeding with the daughters of Cain, which was the bad bloodline of Adam and Eve. So whatever way you want to look at it, what it is the bloodline of God and the people of his covenant breeding with fallen lines, whether that be fallen demonic lines or fallen human lines. And in the end, it really doesn't make a difference because it's a corruption. So this is what the church doesn't do a very good job of teaching, and this is not well known. God cares about family lines, and I've done videos on this. There is an extraordinary thing that happens when there are generations and generations and generations of families that are Catholic. There's a purification that comes with the Eucharist. There's graces that are earned from certain prayers. There's so when you breed with, for lack of a better word, an outsider that's not Catholic, it opens up the doorway for Satan, in that it opens up the doorway to intermingle a non-Catholic, non-purified family line with your family line. It's a very spiritual but genetic, ancestral thing that happens. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. So what we need to understand is this. If it's going to be at the end of time, like in the days of Noah, we can expect this not only moral corruption, but a very physical corruption of ancestral lines to happen. And what better triumph of Satan than to have his ruling elite class of satanic followers and possessed individuals and the ruling elite, the renowned heroes of today, the ruling class, take as slaves the women, the daughters of God, to breed with and corrupt. Why am I saying this? Because who's not going to take the solution is going to be women like me, who have a relationship with God, who seek after God, who God has given the Holy Spirit to enlighten their intellect and say, no, you are not to take this because this is not for you. This is an apostasy. This is not good for you. Stay away from this. So women with morals or common sense, but mostly women, religious women of God, daughters of God, are going to be the ones that stay away from this solution that's causing reproductive issues. So common sense would say those are going to be the ones who would be fertile. And what would Satan like to do? He would like nothing better than to take these women as physical slaves. I can tell you that right now. In the Bible, from the beginning to the end, we see this one scenario, we see this theme play out of, as St. Louis de Montfort puts it, this constant enmity between the daughters of Mary and the children of Mary and the children of Eve, okay? And it's really the children of Satan versus the children of God, the children of dark versus the children of light. But mostly what it is, it's Mary. The children of Mary versus the children of Eve. And as St. Louis de Montfort puts it, there's this deep ingrained hatred, and it will be there for all of time. And the children of Mary will continually be persecuted by the children of Eve, continually. And we see that happening, and I think we can see it happening if this continues to play out. This could go even further and really play out on a conquering type level. So we need to reject all of this. And if this does not stop, if nobody puts a stop to it, which is why I'm waiting in my car instead of in my children's dentist office, because I'm not playing anymore. I'm not bowing down to this anymore. I'm done. Let me make myself very clear. I do not participate in beast systems, and I will not bow down to this medical tyranny one more minute of my earthly existence. So whatever that means for me, it means, I don't know. But I just want to make that clear. I am done. And more of us need to be done. Because if we don't put a stop to this, The Handmaid's Tale probably isn't going to be fiction anymore. And that's a really terrifying thought. It's a terrifying thought that the fertile among us could potentially be preyed on by satanic, possessed, ruling, powerful elite. So men, what does this mean for you? It means you need to protect your women, your wives, and you need to protect your daughters. And women, especially childbearing age women, need to outright start rejecting everything that comes down the line. This isn't going to be easy, especially for somebody like me. My primary health system is the VA. So as you know, I did a video on it. The VA just came out and made all their employees get this solution to our problems, which means I am extraordinarily uncomfortable disclosing my personal reproductive information to doctors and nurses who are pro-solution to our problems, okay? Not only that, but it's all electronic. So everything the VA does is electronic, so it can be shared between different doctors and whatever. I am going to be very leery in the future about, and very watchful and mindful of what I disclose, and who we always have to think of who's going to be able to have access to that in a scenario where this medical tyranny that we're facing completely takes over, okay? And where our menstrual cycles can be tracked in real time. That's a terrifying thought. That's a terrifying thought, because if they have access to your reproductive information, that is they can use that for control and power, especially if there is some crisis of fertility, and where they can act as saviors for saving the human race by making this fertile class of women, and it all ties into eugenics of who's allowed to breed and who isn't. I mean, this can really get ugly. This could really get ugly. And this could be the Handmaid's Tale 2.0 in real time. So I just want to leave you with those thoughts. I don't want to scare anyone, but it's time to really look at what's going on. We have to face it, and we have to start resisting. Because, I mean, we can't let this go on. Are we going to wear masks forever? Is that the plan? Because I'm done. I stopped. I took my masks off. I threw my masks away, and I'm never putting one on again. I'm very serious about that. What's going to happen when this dentist office asks me for my medical records and I don't have the solution to the problem? Then what? I'm going to be sitting in my car while my kids go in there and get dental work done. I mean, we have to start creating alternative systems, because this is not going to work for people like me. Like, we need good doctors and dentists and reproductive people, gynecologists, to step up and start creating their own practices and taking people like me who are going to be banished from society. Make no mistake about it. If we allow this to continue, at the very least, we're going to be ostracized. At the worst, it's going to be a scenario where there's this slave class that's preyed on by the elite for their own agenda. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. So I just want to leave y'all with that. I did make another video, and I'm not going to upload it because it's going to get probably banned from my channel. But I might upload it to BitChute, and if I do so, I'll comment on that. But it just shows specific articles and specific videos of these doctors indicating that, no, this is a reproductive problem. This is attacking the ovaries of women. If you are of childbearing age, do not participate in this. So I want to leave it here. I want everybody to think about Genesis 6 and this Handmaid's Tale. And why am I, obviously, it's fiction. Yeah, okay, well, a lot of things were fiction that came true. Like, that's what Hollywood is. It's the projection of satanic agendas. That's what Netflix is. It's all mind control. So that when it's programming, so that when it comes down the pipe, it's normalized and people don't resist it. That's all it is. That's That's its only purpose, and we call it entertainment. Okay. So I've about had enough. That's it. I've about had enough, and I'm not participating in it. And everybody needs to get that mindset, or we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So, Virgin Most Powerful, pray for us. Especially in your capacity as Mother of God. And I don't know, y'all, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. I mean, we know that they have a depopulation agenda. Look at the Georgia Guidestones. Bill Gates, every TED talk he gives is about the earth being overpopulated. They worship the earth. They believe in eugenics. They believe only certain people should breed. That was why Planned Parenthood came into existence, to wipe out their undesirable people that they view as undesirable. They believe wholeheartedly that they're doing the right thing by saving the earth and breeding only productive humans and all this. This is the plan. So what are they going to do when it's the religious women like me who are left fertile? Then what? Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe I'm being dramatic. Let's hope so. Virgin Most Powerful, pray for us. Joan of Arc Media out.